Okay, my hair is wet, my face is slightly greasy because I just got done taking my shower and putting my lotion on my face and all that stuff. But I had a thought. Right now, as you recall the other day, I was saying it was really warm here. Well, now we've had this major winter system move into the state, and it's very, very cold, and it's been freezing rain all night, and the noise you're hearing in the background is John making coffee. John came down early because he knew that we would be snowed in. And you're not hearing anything about this storm right now on the national news as a kind of warning, you know, for people. But let me show you a picture. Hope you can see that. That is the storm, and right here's Oklahoma. And maybe I can make sure you can see that. Oh, you can't. Well, you can. Yeah, there we go. And like that. So you can see it. Okay, so this is Oklahoma, and this is the storm, and it's moving across to the east. But the national news, of course, is not paying any attention to it. Why? Because it's in the flyover states. It's going to hit Chicago, and that's about the time it'll hit the national news. They could care less what's happening to us in these middle states. And what they should do is not call themselves national at all, but call them the East Coast news, because they rarely, if ever, do they ever cover anything in the central portion of the country. In any case, it's very, very cold here. And that's the first of my random thoughts for the day. Okay, another random thought. Because I had such a horrendous childhood filled with memories of beatings and abuse, I'm always mindful, consciously, when I'm around children, that the memories that I propagate in their minds are permanent, or could be permanent. So I make a conscious effort when I am around children to make those memories pleasant ones. I have found in my own life that strength in the times when I've needed it most, inner strength, comes from my good memories, from remembering good things in the midst of a bad situation. And so I hope that when I do this with children, that I am giving them the building blocks of surviving what life will deal them later. The one sentence that encompasses this thought is, remember, when you're holding that child, you're also holding a mind. Okay, so story time. As you notice, my bed has been unmade for a couple days, and that's mainly because the dog keeps messing it up, and I finally got tired of making it and then having the dog mess it up. So, I just had a sneezing jag too, so I'm kind of sounding stepped up. The other day, my sister came over to visit me, and I have 3 sisters. I have 2 sisters, excuse me. Oh, 2 sisters. There's 3 sisters total, me and in there. I'm the middle sister. I also have 2 brothers. One of my sisters, I call her the crafty sister, and the other sister is my prissy sister. And prissy sis is one of those people that, have to be perfect in every way. And she lives her life for other people. She doesn't go out of the house without full makeup, and, her hair's always perfectly coiffed and all that. And then I have my crafty sister who, she can do anything. She just is a whiz. She can make anything, do anything. If there's any kind of craft, like sewing, knitting, crochet, scrapbooking, everything. She does it all. And then there's me, and I'm the kind of weird one. I'm bookish. Basically, I'm called the bookish, intelligent one. So, that having been said, my sister came over the other day to visit with me, and she brought her grandbaby, who we call the baby, because her grandbaby is the baby of the family. It's the youngest child. And she's 10. And ever since she was a little girl, I have given her a word of the day. So every time she sees me, well, what's the word of the day? Because I want her to have an interest in words. And she does. At 10 years old, she has a real interest in the English language and words and reading. And the last little random thought I had about children, and that's one of the things I've done with her, is I have consciously propagated a desire to know about the English language in her from the time of her birth. Her word for the day, by the way, was albeit. And explaining the word albeit to a 10-year-old is pretty interesting. Well, anyway, we were sitting at the table, all 3 of us, and my prissy sis, and me, and the grandbaby, Lexi. And I'll show you a picture over here. Okay, so that's Lexi, and I hope I have a recent one that I stuck up there. She was sitting there with me, and she said, "You have a booger in your nose." My sister, Prissy, says, immediately says, "Lexi, don't say that." And I said, "Hell yes, you should say that. Please tell me that I have a booger in my nose if you're sitting there and I'm talking to you, and I got, some whistling snot or something. I don't want that. I don't want you thinking about the booger in my nose rather than what I'm saying." And Denise, well, I just don't want her, to be impolite. I said, it'd be more impolite to, let me have a whistling snot in my nose. I said, and then I turned to Lexi and I said, your grandma's one of those people that let you have spinach on your teeth, and she'd be looking at that piece of spinach the whole time you were talking, not even hearing a word you say. I said, your dad, though, he'd be the one to tell you, you got a piece of spinach in your teeth and it's driving me bugging. If you don't get it off, I'm going to get it off myself. So Lexi gets, she gets a lot of weirdness from me all the time. I made her, one day, we decided that we would say darling after everything we said. Well, how you doing, darling? Well, I just love that darling. And I said, I want you to go home with your dad, my nephew, my favorite nephew, by the way. I want you to go home and all night, just say darling, and see how long it is before it just irritates your dad to no end. As soon as you did that, it was pretty funny. Another thing was when she was smaller, she was always saying, "Oh, I just hate that. Oh, I just hate that." And so her words of the day were, every day for like a week, I gave her, and this was in kindergarten, I think she was 5 or something, I gave her a different word for hate. I said, you can't say hate. Anytime you want to say hate, say love, or detest, or abhor, and so on, And so I'm sure this kindergarten teacher was like, what has happened to this child? Just coming in, said, I just loathe that. I loathe coloring. I loathe nap time. I detest this. Just fun stuff. Always tell me if I got a booger in my nose, okay?
Folks, this is Red Harmon and Willard Brewer, Shasta, California, government camp. We're going to play the chicken reel.